The ugly truth about teaching in Thailand. Do you want to teach in Thailand? Well, there are some things you need to know before taking that huge leap and signing that contract. In this video, we will be talking about the not-so-glamorous side of teaching in Thailand. We'll be discussing the uglier aspects of working in this job position overseas. Every single day I would come into school and check the staff notice board to see if there was any new announcements about upcoming holidays. As a teacher, you have to be very careful with what you say and who you say it to. It's not fully the school's fault, but I feel like they could do something about it. So here's the deal. You're required to purchase a visa in order to work in Thailand. Now, if you're a teacher, your school should cover the cost of this visa. If you have any questions, please drop them in the comment section below, and I will try my best to answer them. If you haven't subscribed yet, please hit the subscribe button now. We publish new videos every single week. I'll see you in the next one. However, the problem is that schools tend to nickel and dime you when it comes to this visa. For example, some schools require you to pay a service fee in order to process the visa for you. Others might require you to buy medical insurance through them, which is significantly more expensive than buying it online. Or some schools might not pay for the visa on time. So then you have to rush and pay for it yourself, and then wait for them to reimburse you. It's so annoying. For example, if you're having problems with another teacher, it's best to keep it to yourself or maybe talk to your friends about it rather than going to the principal or the HR department. Private schools in Thailand tend to close for the summer. Yeah, that makes sense. After all, why would anyone want to teach in 40-degree weather? However, sometimes schools will shut down for weeks at a time for other reasons. For example, during the political crisis in 2014, there were times when I couldn't go to school because the streets were blocked off due to protests. During that time, the school made an announcement saying that you will and be paid if you do not show up to work during the closure. This meant that teachers who were living paycheck to paycheck would have to go to school, even though they might get harassed by protesters along the way. Luckily, I had enough savings to support myself for those few weeks, so I decided to stay home. Many of my co-workers, however, did not have that luxury. They were forced to make a choice. Either go to school and risk being harassed by protesters or skip work and starve. There's a good chance that the principal will take sides, and then the next thing you know, you're caught in the middle of a gang war between two cliques of teachers. One thing that really upset me about teaching in Thailand was the hidden agenda behind it all. Let me explain what I mean by this. So there's this common misconception that Farang or Western teachers are better than Thai teachers. Because of this, many Thai students have this attitude that Western teachers are superior. Yeah, I get it. You study English in school, so you kind of believe that the native speakers are better than your own teachers. But at the same time, your Thai teachers have actual qualifications and degrees related to education, whereas many Western teachers don't. It is not to say that having a degree in education is better or worse than having a degree in any other field, but the fact of the matter is that there are more qualified teachers in Thailand than there are Farang teachers. I witnessed this firsthand while working at a school. At this school, the Thai teachers were treated like second-class citizens. The management team made sure that all of the Farang teachers were aware that they were hired specifically to replace Thai teachers. It felt awful to work in such an environment. Going to HR is also not a good idea, since they are also biased towards the Thai teachers. One of my friends had a really bad experience with HR. She had a C-level manager who would grab her by the hips and try to kiss her every time she walked past his office. My friend was really uncomfortable with it, but she was told by her co-workers to just ignore it and suck it up. She took this advice and pretended like it didn't happen. However, when she finally decided to report him to HR, nothing happened. Her colleagues warned her that by doing that she would be making a huge mistake, and that she would regret it. Well, she reported him anyway, but a few days later she found herself without a job. Later on, she found out that the reason why she got fired was because she went behind everyone's backs and reported this C-level manager instead of dealing with it internally. Moral of the story. Do you want to be surprised if one day you wake up and you're out of a job for no reason? Most of the time it seemed like every other day they were adding more and more holidays throughout the year. A lot of these holidays were religious holidays. I totally understand celebrating cultural holidays and giving people time to practice their religion. But come on guys, too much was too much. So, here's the problem. I would come home after seeing all of these holidays on the staff notice board, and I would cross-check them against my own personal calendar. If they didn't match, then I would email my school to confirm whether I had that day off or not. If I didn't have that day off, then I would have to go into work on that day. Now I'm telling you, this process was so frustrating. First of all, I would get different answers every single time I asked. Sometimes I would ask if I had a holiday off, and the secretary would tell me, yes, you do. Then I would check my calendar and I would realize that I actually do have that day off. So I would email them back, and then the principal would respond to me saying that no, you don't have that day off. You have to come in. It was just the worst. Like, why could you and they just post the updated calendar on the staff notice board and save us all this hassle? So if you have already had it with the rat race at home and you're really looking for a new adventure, then this video is for you. Let's get right into it. Hey guys, I'm your host, and this is our channel where we help you find your path to financial freedom through travel and work abroad. I don't think there is any other profession where the evaluation of your performance is based on a single moment in time. If you were an engineer and you designed a bridge, you would not be judged by one inspection of that bridge. If you were a mechanic and you fixed a car, you would not be judged by one test drive of that car. But as a teacher, your entire performance review is based on how you perform in front of an inspector or an observer in just one class. It's incredibly stressful. On top of that, your whole salary depends on that one class. If you perform well, you get a raise. If you don't perform well, you don't get a raise. That's all there is to it. Now, to put that into perspective, if you're living in a major city in Thailand like Bangkok, you need to make at least 40,000 baht per month just to survive. So if you do not perform well in that one class, you will probably be joining the long list of unemployed Pharangs or foreigners walking around Kheosan Road. Now, it does not matter if you've been teaching well for the past 6 months or even a year. All of that doesn't count. It's all forgotten. It's like it never happened. The only thing that matters is what happens in that one class. And guess what? Even though you are judged solely on that one class, it's usually scheduled at the most inconvenient time possible. For example, when parents are late picking their kids up from school, you will be expected to teach an extra class after your normal working hours to make up for it. This extra class is the one that will determine whether you get a raise or not. So yeah, those after-school extra classes can really add up. And I personally know many teachers who put in 12-hour days during the week and still have to catch up on lesson planning at home afterwards. Also, your ability to perform well in that class is entirely dependent on factors beyond your control. For example, I once had a student in my class who was being disruptive and was unlistening to me at all. He was constantly playing with his fidget spinner and he kept calling out his friends during class activities. When I asked him to stop, he responded by making fun of me and calling me a boomer. I was so frustrated, but what could I do? His behavior was so out of control that no matter what I did or said, he just kept escalating. He was literally kicking the chair he was sitting in and was getting ready to throw it. At that point, I just had to call his parents into the classroom. They came in and they started yelling at him. It worked for about 2 seconds until they left, and then he went right back to being disruptive again. I ended up failing him for that class because he wouldn't listen to me. But should I have been punished for that? Should I have gotten a bad review because of his behavior? I mean, I tried everything I could to maintain control of the classroom, but I couldn't do it. So yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Just because you're a teacher doesn't mean that you always have control over the situation. So let's start off with no. 1. You're only as good as your last class. Number 2. Administrative nightmare. Imagine trying to take a day off work when your school has a different calendar than you do. No. 3. The politics. Much like any workplace, there will be politics at your school. No. 4. Hidden fees. Here's something else that really frustrates me about teaching in Thailand. No. 5. School closures. No. 6. Hidden agenda. Well, that's it for this video, guys. These are just some of the things that I experienced firsthand. Your experience may differ from mine.